Hey guys, it's Mark from the 42freeway.com website. It's been a while since we've had a chance to talk on the video about the road projects, some other things going on. I did do that Donkeys video recently, and that went very well. I love those folks over there, and I love the sandwiches. We're going to focus, as you can see, on missing moves as the primary aspect. There is a new project that Department of Transportation want us to know about in the Bellmawr area, sort of impactful to how the Creek Road traffic patterns enter into 42 South. So I see it sort of as an addendum to the Missing Moves project, but they're going to be having some public sessions and they want feedback from the public. It's something you guys probably don't know about, many of you, so I didn't stick it at the end of the video. We're going to talk about that. I'm got some intro items to do, and then we're going to jump out that, and then we're going to go into Missing Moves. So about 2 months ago, I did a Missing Moves web post with photos. That was back in March. Those photos actually were from December, I think. December, January, I forget when they were from. So it's been many, many months, and if just driving through 42, 295 Creek Road, you see a lot of progress has happened. So I take the time. I got brand new photos from Sunday, just a few days ago, and we're sort of going to go through the flow. And I've paid attention to some of the questions that people have asked in the past with the prior post and whatnot, and I'm going to try to speak and answer those questions. Third thing is, I know some people, before they even click on the web post that I'm going to share on Facebook or look at the video, they're going to just jump right in on the direct connection and the wall collapse. Well, first off, Missing Moves is a separate project. Can we get that clear, guys? Missing Moves is doing very, very well. It's only started like a year, 15 months ago. It's the 42 to 295 South. It's called Missing Moves because if you're coming 42 North, you can't get directly to 295 South. It's a separate project from the direct connection that's been going on for 10 years. And people just don't understand. I get it. I guess you see it. It is the same interaction. It's the same, you're going one way on 42, the other way, and you're going to cross 295, but it is different projects. The direct connection, the state has not released the information. And I want to thank you guys for having so much confidence in me and being able to figure things out and get information. But it just hits a point, whether it's a business or the government, like there's only so much I can do. I can't, take the commissioner's arm and put it behind her back and say, let me know what the final information is on the we just don't know. I am surprised it's taken this long. The latest I heard is, maybe back in December or January, they had everything, the analysis, what went wrong, whose fault it was, what can they do to fix it, how long, that whole proposal was completed, but it's going through a legal review. Even then, I think the legal review is taking too long. This is what I've been told and what I've read in some other media sites. I did file an OPRA request, open public records, whatever request, which basically as the public, we have a right to know what the government's doing. I think they'll find a way to not respond to me, or maybe we'll just get our answer soon. So yeah, I'm going to show some updated images on the Browning Road Bridge construction project there, and some extra new shots of where the roadway collapsed. But you're not going to get any answers here, guys. So feel free to comment on Facebook and just trash the direct connection project. But we're going to focus on Missing Moves. All right. See, I've already talked way too long, and I really have a lot to cover. There's a bunch of slides. So first off, I want to thank Mike Crucci. Mike, my apologies if I'm saying your name wrong. He does drone photography, real estate photography, sports photography. Well, check out his website. And I want to thank him because Mike is the guy that got me the drone images when the direct connection, that roadway collapsed. And it was funny, when it collapsed, you could see from the ground level, because it's kind of hard to just be like on the surface at the church or even down on the roadway and get the full effect of what happened there. It's surprising thinking back that, why didn't the Philadelphia news helicopters come over and get the great footage? But for several days, no one did. Mike, I talked to Mike, he'd reached out to me, he's like, dude, if you ever need any help with, drone stuff, let me know. And he went and he got those photos. And I really do believe, now someone else would have finally gotten to it, but it was 42 Freeway and Mike's photos that really bam, it hit people like, wow. The day that went up, I started getting calls from politicians, asking me, questions and things like that. And next thing the senator's involved and there's, the meeting, I think all that came from Mike's photos. So Mike, thank you very much. If you need any of his services, there's a reason why I'm talking so long about Mike is because as amazing as he's been, I want to do so much more with drone. I want to actually, I just did a post on the Voorhees Main Street where that large commercial building is going to, it's proposed to be demolished. And just to kind of help the story along, I had my drone with me and I put the drone up in the air and I got some aerial shots of it. And I got like 10 things like where I'm just sort of augmenting the post. So as you can see here with this clip, I finally got around. I am a certified FAA 107 commercial drone pilot. It's believe it or not, it's something you need if you make any money from drone imagery, even indirectly. The person who took those photos needs to be a licensed commercial pilot. The most classic example is if you're a real estate agent and you think, oh, it'd be so nice to have that drone image of the house that I listed, and I'm not going to charge my customer, right? I'm not even going to charge my the people selling the house. I'm just going to take that. The FAA considers that commercial use. That because you're going to make money off the house, so you took that photo. That photo helped you sell the house. So I have the same situation with the website. Even though I'm not like charging someone to take a photo, I am making money off the ads now on the website. I'm going to do a special post on that later. So long story short, the imagery I show as I'm doing the ads needs to be FAA certified. And I passed the exam. That rainy weekend, God, I'm already 10 minutes into this probably. But that rainy weekend we had last weekend, the weekend before, I just said the hell with it. I locked myself up in this room, studied for hours, passed it. I literally signed up for it's like $170 to take the test. I signed up for the damn test before I'd even really studied. I just figured I'm going to force my hand. So, yay, Mark. So let's finally get to that new third project that the Department of Transportation wants us to know about in the very immediate Bellmawr area. This is called the Leaf Avenue Extension. I got another shout out. Look at I'm spreading the love all around. Ann at South Jersey Observer website brought this to my attention. Yes, Ann and I are very good friends, and I've known her for decades, and I grew up with her husband, like literally as grade school kids, So, the family, just wonderful people. And Ann does an amazing job with South Jersey Observer. She does she has more of a full news community coverage for Bellmawr, Runnymede, Gloucester, Westville, Mount Ephraim, sort of that area. She does a lot of my content, style content, meaning she did the post on the Coral Reef and the TD Bank and Runnymede becoming an auto body place. Ann brought to my attention yesterday about this. I didn't know about it. I knew this thing was in the works. I didn't know this presentation was coming. So basically, they want to redo how from the Bellmawr local roads, how you would get on 42 South. Right now, you kind of go through that little industrial park area, Harding Avenue. There's a traffic light there, and I guess they feel like it's not the best sort of traffic flow. And I knew this was in the works. I didn't know that the presentation was coming. So go like her page if you're on Facebook, or go check out her website, Ann's South Jersey Observer. So this is, sorry for the bad image here. This is what's in the PDF that the Department of Transportation presented. And I'll bring the mouse over. Basically, here's 42 over here. Sorry, I have a camera in front of me, so I'm looking around it. This is Creek Road. This is the Cure Leaf dispensary right here. That's sort of the best landmark I can give right now. And so typically what you do now is you come down, I think it's Harding Avenue, and you come in and you get on 42 South. The imagery that was provided with the PDF, you can see, it looks like Harding Avenue ends there. It looks like this next street, what is it, Coolidge? It looks like that ends. It looks like the 3rd Street has a cul-de-sac. I think this is Stanley. This may be the main street. I think these two streets are where Cure Leaf is. No, this is the Cure Leaf. Here's the new parking lot. So none of these streets in this proposal appear to. So you got to actually go to this session online. Appear to connect to the road that's going to get us to 42 South. What they want us to do is come all the way over here and take this long road in. And then also it'll have access into the landfill if anything ever comes into the landfill. So by the way, just to be clear, it's a 2-week, reason why it's a 2-week period is it's not like you got to go to a session. They're going to have some sort of presentation, whether it's a video or, slides, and they're going to make it available. I'll put the link in the YouTube description and in the web link. They're going to make it available online, and they're going to let residents look at it and give feedback, what works, what doesn't work. So there is some changes from what I saw before, so I'm going to show you that in a second. But I just want to say, pros and cons. There's a lot of pros because in this area, it is congested. There's a weird bend here on Creek Road. You have a traffic light at Hardin. You have the 42. You have the Wawa there with a traffic light. It just gets a little convoluted. At rush hour, the people turning, waiting on Creek Road to make that left to come down Hardin and get on 42 South, it just backs up all the way down in front of the Wawa and further, and it's just a mess. So I get the logic. let's get that main pathway away from that. So they're going to take it down here, and just as another point of reference, the famous lawnmower parts store, which is now closed, is located here. And then I think over here is the building that is the sort of the sports facility, and I think there's a tile warehouse there. So we're sort of talking in that area, and so you'd have to actually drive down here and then come through to 42. Now the good thing is, look, there's really not a lot happening here other than just traffic moving through. So if things slow up, back up at the light, you're not really impacting anything else. So that's a positive. So again, this is coming up in June. I want to show you. This is what I had from a couple years ago. I think I used this in the original Missing Moves video from a year or 2 years ago. Originally, the big changes, they were going to make Coolidge Avenue one of the main entryways to come down and then get into 42 South. So, you could see some of these, nothing's happening for the Bellmawr landfill, but, at the time they thought there was. So I guess they envisioned this as like a straight path in. And so here's the same road. So, the Department of Transportation has wanted to do this Leaf Avenue extension, move traffic away from, the Curaleaf and the Wawa area. But the original plan had Coolidge, and as you can see again, now they all seem to be cut off, and this will be the only way in. So I'll put the link in there. Finally, guys, I got like 50 slides here, but I'm going to move fast. Missing Moves, Bellmawr. As always the case, I'm going to start on 42 North. You're coming from Gloucester Township, Washington Township, and you're heading towards Philadelphia. It's going to branch off right. And, this is probably corny, but see the red arrow here pointing backwards? I'm going to move, as I always do, I'm going to move from the starting point from 42 North and go all the way around to 295. But at times, I'm going to take a backward image. So I don't know if this red arrow helps or confuses, but this is where you're going to start. There's this hump on 42, and they're going to start off. So this is one of the questions that people had in the original photos from just a few months ago. This was a large gully. It was down, and people were asking, like, is there going to be a tunnel going underneath? Is there going? There's a whole bunch of different things. Basically, all that was is there was probably some water conditions there. It was a sort of a gully, and it had to go down deeper to build a solid foundation. So as you can see, this is now that solid. You could see the curve down here, and then you do end up with, look at this, what is going to be a straight, but slightly angled down roadway. And here's the sewer systems. Well, not the sewer systems. It's, what do they call it? Just the water. To get the water off the roadway. It's not actually going to the sewer. It's probably going in that. I don't know where it's going to go actually. So that answers one of the big questions. This is just another angle, again, looking backwards. Now I'm going to flip around and going forward. So imagine you're driving on your car, 42 North, and you come off to the right, and you're going to get on 295. This is how you're going to travel. By the way, this is all done with a drone. At no time did my feet step on any of the land that is associated with this project. I didn't cross boundaries of the contractor. I had a guy, probably completely unassociated, but he gave me some crap on Facebook because, I see you're trespassing again. No, dude, this is a drone. You're going to come up over the bend here, and, I forget the order that I did things. So you can see the bend is going to start turning, and it's going to go left over 42. Now, what's also another question we're going to talk about, I think this is where I have it in the presentation, is you can see this road work here. They are relocating. If you're on 42 North and you want to get off at Bellmawr, and it dumps you right at that Sunoco gas station. It's sort of a bad intersection there, right? Because you got Wellwood, you got Edgewood, you got the Sunoco, you got Benigno coming in. You got like 6 different ways coming in, and it gets complicated. And here's the thing: when cars need to slow up and wait a second, you want to make sure you have enough roadway behind them so that you're not then jamming up other things, just like what happens in front of Wawa. So if you want to get off in Bellmawr when this opens up, you're actually like way back here is the Wellwood. Is the current exit. You're going to do it much earlier, and you're going to enter much earlier. And there's a traffic light there. We're going to talk more about that in a second. And then I just continue on, and you can see how this is going to connect over there. And we're going to talk about that too. There's a question that people had on that one. This is just a reverse image looking down 42, and again, you can see the new on-off for the northbound side of 42. Further, you better idea. If you want to go 290, if you're coming 42 North, you want to go to 295 South, you take this ramp here, There'll be one right after it that will take you to Bellmawr, Benigno Boulevard, if you want to do that. I'm sure eventually in the beginning, someone's going to get confused and get off the wrong one and find themselves, I just wanted to go to the Bellmawr Wawa, and the next thing you know, you're down in Westville on 295 South. But I think this is the best they could do considering things. All right, so this is sort of, again, with only on the drone, but down at the lower level, you'll come in off 42 North here. So this is another change that I wanted to point out, and I think I got some plans after this. Did I mention I have some of the actual plans? So you're 42 North, you want to get off at Bellmawr. You're going to be coming out of here. This is the way in, I think. If you come out of here, you make a left, and this is brand new. You're going to go into this right hand. Normally you go straight. You're going to go this way and go up. Look at that. Fancy graphics there. This will be blocked. And we're going to show this in a second. This is just another view of how this roadway is going to be. There was a telephone pole here. It looks, I think they moved that out. So this is the actual Dewberry designs that went with the contract. What we've been looking at is, here's that elevated ramp going over for missing moves. This is where you get off 42 North. And as I said, you're going to make a left. Now, why this is red is I wanted to sort of indicate in this black and white drawing that normally you would go straight. Now you go this way. Now, there's more to this. I got another slide. This is the other half of it. So normally you would come straight here with the red. It doesn't even connect anymore. The Benigno Boulevard, what you're familiar with, will not connect the same place. They've actually moved it in line here with Edgewood. I get them backwards. This is Edgewood. Wellwood's the other one. They moved it in line with Edgewood. And part of that, there's a reason why they put a traffic light at Edgewood. Like they knew this was the plan coming forward. You'll still be able to go around Wellwood if you needed to. You need to get to the state police station. You can go do it from both sides. What the purplish blue here is, I didn't realize this until I saw these plans. There will still be an entranceway into 42 North in the area that we're familiar with, but state police access, which makes sense. If this is the state police barracks right here, I should have colored that. But if they need something going on 295 and they need to get police cars on the highway fast, this is just such a nice little quick thing for them. So again, here's the Sunoco State Police Station. This is the Wawa. You're going to, when this is all opened up, I got a feeling it's not going to be too far off. I'm going to, the guys at Department of Transportation in the Communications Media Department, they're pretty good. If I ask them a specific question, if I said, hey, when do you think, that roadway is going to open up for the access on Benigno, hopefully I'll get an answer. But you'll come down to Edgewood and you'll go down this and then on to 42 North that way. All right, so that was one of the questions, because I think people had questions about what was going to happen with Benigno, very clear. And I think this spells it out, and I talk too much. Now we're back to our roadway here. This is, again, I took these Sunday, so it kind of ends here. This is 42 North, that's 42 South. And what I want to show here is, so this is the overhead view of 42. This is the ramp going over. This portion, though, is not built, right? Because it's not built yet. And just to highlight things, so here's 42 northbound. You can see this whole thing is north. This whole thing is south. This is the roadway coming over top that's not built. And so one of the questions people had is, on the other side of 42, the southbound side, the current steel is kind of coming out over the highway, and people are like, well, wait, are they just going to span that without a support column? Right here, this is Pier 6. There is going to be a pier in the center of the 42 roadway. I don't know the specifics. This is my theory. The reason why this has not been done, and the reason why they haven't put the steel across that, is because even though when it's finished, let's just look at this. Look at these fancy graphics here. It's going to sit, say, here, and the steel will go here, and it'll connect over there. When it's finished, it'll probably, it'll fit into the narrow piece. But to actually develop it, they got to bring trucks in and cement, and so they're, at some time, maybe not too far off, they're going to have to close these interior lanes of 42, north and south, which means they're going to want to shift the traffic over, and I think to do that, they're going to want this to be done, and. Sorry to go backwards. They're going to want all this to be completed because, if this is all paved, then they can, put up some temporary roads and some barriers and shift lanes over. So, again, A centerpiece is a center pier. They call them pier. I always get confused if it's columns or what. They call it a pier in the industry. Will be developed to support the center of the Missing Moves roadway going over 42. All right, so now we're moving forward, but I'm looking back over. So we're on these, I guess the landfill side. That's the best way to describe it. And this is the piece here that's actually it's not hanging out over the roadway, but it does stick out further. And look how fancy I am. So this gives a better depiction. When they get to building this concrete center pier, Pier 6, they'll be able to connect the steel there and then work on the decking. As you saw, they are already doing the decking and the other pieces. It looks like to me they're doing as much as they can on the entire Missing Moves project until they get to the point of building this pier. So, and there's my little red arrow, we're looking backwards. Still looking backwards. This is just another sort of lower shot of the same piece. Now we're flipping around. We're continuing our trek from 42 north to 295 south. Back here, this is the new Curaleaf parking lot, which has been a big help because it's been so successful over there, and there just was no parking as they grew. So they have a dedicated parking lot now. Curaleaf is down this way, and so you could see the steel beams going in, and then it turns to dirt, and then in the distance you can see this is 295 back here. If you remember, I talked about the information session that's coming up in June. Basically, right here with that plan, this will be a cul-de-sac. This will end. Basically, this road here will be gone, I guess. So at that point, if they go through with that plan for that information session, the Leaf Avenue extension, it's basically going to, you're only going to be in this industrial park area if you need to be there. And whether it's here or a little bit further on, what will happen is that Leaf Avenue extension, I should have drew this in, will continue off this way and connect to Creek Road. All right. I was not standing on the steel girders, guys. This was the drone. And actually, the drone was a significant distance away. I just, was able to zoom in. So just to give you the depiction, driving in your car. This is sort of how it's going to look when you're driving in your car going towards 295 off 42, looking ahead. And then it's the same photo. I just zoomed it in. And you can see in the distance how the roadway is going to bank up and go over 295. Looking backwards, here's the steel. You can see the curve. In the distance is the ramp for 42 North. Bellmawr Industrial Park's back there. So look at this. This is all dirt here. Partly, it's a savings, right? It's much cheaper, I would imagine, to just pile up dirt and build the roadway on it than it is to do all the steel and extend the bridging, the raised roadway. It is technically a bridge, and the ramp. So it becomes a savings there. I also wonder. So I do know that Bellmawr and the developer 10 years ago, when there was talk of Bass Pro Shops and an outlet mall, pushed really hard to get exit ramps off of this. They wanted it so that someone on 295 could easily get in and out of the landfill. So they didn't do that. They didn't win that. And I actually talked to the developer at one time, and he'd showed me his BlackBerry. I shouldn't say that, right? Where the representative from Bass Pro Shop says, "Look, if you get that exit, we're going to build it." Who knows how true that is? If they would have done that. So I wonder if this also being dirt gives them down the road an easier way to put a cloverleaf in here. This is just my theory. But it's only going to work off of 295 north. It doesn't give that direct. Well, I guess you came 295 south, you would just jump on 42 and come in. So that would cover the bases. So, but again, there is. Just be clear, this is one of the questions people ask. There is no access from the Missing Moves project to the local roads below. It's just going to go, even that Leaf Avenue extension, which is going to come through here. Actually, that's good. That's probably pretty much where it is. Will not jump you up onto the Missing Moves. I hope I'm clear on that. Again, looking backwards, I flipped around. So now, this is another drone shot, guys. Did not touch any of the equipment there. Did not touch any of the steel. It's deceptive. I'm very far away from it. We're going to continue on our 295 South trek. And I keep looking backwards. I don't know why. I think I have some story there to tell. But we'll just continue on. And so this is from 42 North. We're going to go up this way because we need to cross over 295. And another look back. I probably could have taken out some of those slides, but another look back. Well, this gives you a pretty good view of, as this is Creek Road here. We crossed over Creek Road. This is the lawnmower parts building here. You can see the dirt segment. You can see the steel segment here, which is over the new Cureleaf parking lot. This is the bend as it reaches, you're at 42. We're going backwards here, right? And then you can see it's a pretty good shot. I get worried when I reverse the image that it's confusing someone, that they just don't have the same brain that I do and to visualize these things. So I probably spending too much time explaining that. So here's the bend again. 42. I came 42 north. I'm going to cross over, and now you get a sense of how this is going to go over 295 and connect there. Look at this. By the way, with the drone. When you're flying a drone, this is Class B airspace. So Class B airspace means this is designated for the Philadelphia airport. The planes are going to come through here to land or take off. The FAA has been really cool about this, though. Like, they could have easily had said, look, 0 to infinity, you just can't fly because planes are going to be there. But they're being, they know helicopters need to fly. They know that small planes need to fly. So in this area, basically from 0 to 400 feet, you can fly with approval. And adding to it, it just kind of works out that drones in the United States, for the most part, can only fly to 400 feet. There are some rules in regards to doing, like, if I was inspecting this tower, I can actually go 400 feet over the top of the tower with approval, and depending on the certain area. So this is Class B. Where I'm going with this is, you literally, it's really cool now. Years ago, you had to get approval, and I guess they expected you to call the tower, the airport tower at the Philadelphia airport. Now there are apps that are in partnership with the FAA, and you can literally, it's sort of like a Google Map type thing, and say, hey, I'm going to fly, I'm going to go this high, I'm going to be this long, I'm going to be this range, this is why I'm doing it, and they give you an approval. So I'm just throwing this in there that all this was done under the 107 drone commercial pilot regulations, with all the FAA approvals. Anyway, sorry guys, I rambled. I know what's happening in the next slide. There you go. So we're coming up from 42 north. The piece, so this actually extends over 295. So that's really cool. I didn't even know that happened. It just like, they must have done it without shutting the roadway down, because I didn't notice any sort of notification. But they're going to need to connect it over, and then you'll get on 295 south. So we've really just reviewed the entire path. We're not done yet, guys. From 42 north all the way through the industrial park area. No, the Cureleaf area. Let's just call it that. The Cureleaf industrial park area of Bellmawr, through the edge of the landfill, and then over 295. If you're coming 295 north, and again, this is a question too. People ask this because I focus so much on this one path because I just want to be consistent. If you're coming from 295 north, you're coming from Delaware, Paulsboro, Mickleton, those areas, and you want to get to the Atlantic City Expressway, you will be able to, lost my mouse, go here, get on this ramp. I'm going to go backwards here. You're going to be on this ramp, and there you go. You're going to go on this side of the roadway, and you're going to go to 42 south. And it's not going to go over 42. You're going to take that. You'll be another ramp there. I don't think I called that out close enough, but I'm not going to go back to it. All right. The next big topic of discussion. I am in a lot of the town groups. I grew up in Bellmawr. I lived in Bellmawr the first 45 years of my life, and I know you guys think I'm much younger than that. Anyway, this is the Creek Road Bridge over 295. So the original bridge, here's the straight run of Creek Road here. And the original bridge went straight across. And what they've done is built a brand new bridge. They couldn't, on the Browning Road Bridge, we're going to talk about that in a second. I still got more, guys. They built a temporary bridge to the side, and they're rebuilding Browning Road in line. Creek Road, they didn't do that. And so there's a couple interesting things. First off, it is steep. I don't know if they're going, on this side, it gets kind of steep to connect with Creek Road. I don't know if they're going to do some things to level that out. I don't think so, because this is like a concrete barrier here. There's also this odd sort of bend to it, and I thought, is that the way it's going to be? But I'll show in some of the other shots. I jumped ahead. I'll show in some of the other shots that this is like, it's not like they're going to change it. So people were wondering, like, is it going to have that bend all the time? Well, let's look at it. And so, by the way, we're traveling today. It's narrow. It's got the curve. It feels a little awkward. It's steep. we're only riding on half of the bridge. So when they first opened this up, this did not exist. So this is new, and this will be opened up. This will be the final placement of the bridge. There is no more coming over here. So what I'm pointing out here is this lighter outline here is the old bridge placement. This darker is the new bridge placement. So it's that shift over. This is another depiction, sort of a wider shot that shows both sides of it. And look at that. You can see the bend. There you go. Look how fancy I am. So the red is the roadway, and yeah, it's gonna have that bend. It's there. That's the way it's gonna work. But the road will be wider, right? It'll be much wider. It'll feel less intimidating. I believe it's still gonna have the sort of steepness on this side, the Bellmawr Lake side. And then I put this little purple there to say that's how it was before, just straight through. The new one kind of goes this way, and this literally curves on the downside or the upside, depending on where you're coming. So this is just another shot of that. So this will probably just be connected like that. It's not. Look, we used to call this a dead man's curve back here. I don't know if people still do because it never was really dangerous. It's pretty sharp, so it'll be fine. Just a shot showing the new area going in, the new second half of the bridge. This is much. When I was here with the drone, guy pulls up in a car. I'm sorry, Bill. I think it was Bill. It's just 42 freeway. He just recognized me. He was coming this way. Yeah. I wonder if that was his car now. He was coming this way and pulled over and said hi. We chatted for a bit. Just thank you, people. I'm getting recognized a lot more out and about. Please say hi if you recognize me. I love it. Feeds my ego. I don't know, but thank you for being for just enjoying the site and the information and just all the wonderful comments. But anyway, so we had a nice little conversation. You could see this bridge is mostly done here. They're putting in the concrete railing here. We're only traveling today on one half. You see the other half. So it's still going to be just one lane each way, but it'll be nice. You have a shoulder, you have a lane, you have a shoulder. It'll be easy to drive. I may be getting near the end of the missing moves. I do have some shots of the direct connection to come up, but this is just one last shot, from that Creek Road Bridge on the Bellmawr Lakeside, just looking across. And I guess what you can pick up from here is, remember when we were showing, the main path that I always depict? That bridge will connect here, and you're going to go down this ramp, and then you'll connect on the 295 South. All right. I don't even know how long I'm into this thing. I can't see on my camera what the timer is at. Direct connection, couple shots there. The big focus right now is the Browning Road Bridge. They got the temporary bridge up, we know that, and they've 99% demolished the old bridge, so I have some shots there. My understanding, my theory is, well, one, obviously, over here, we're going to show some more photos. They have to figure out what they're going to do with the collapsed roadway, how much they're going to have to tear down to rebuild it back up. But, you got these support columns. The angle's bad. It kind of throws it off here. But these support columns, the 295 roadway is going to go across all of this. So I kind of feel like they need to get this Browning Road new bridge done before they can start messing with the stuff up there. So as you can see, I know there's people that are from Bellmawr, know the Bellmawr area, but don't live in the area anymore. You got a lot, basically everybody that retires, it feels like they go to, South Carolina or Florida. And so we live this every day, but they probably appreciate this even more. This is the original Browning Road path. You can still see the center support columns are there, but they've taken the old bridge out. Here's the temporary bridge. I'm going to flip around and show, here's I get this wrong, guys, all the time. St. Wacom, is that right? It used to be Annunciation Church. There's the school there. So Browning Road, right now, temporarily to go around that bridge is, got this bend to it. The bridge is working out pretty well. When they put the new bridge back up, we'll be back to a straight run right here. This is sort of a clean depiction. This is where the new bridge is going to go, right across. On the other side, they did clean this out. It's still sitting there. I don't know if they. My belief is they're gonna do the same. They're gonna dig this out too and take it back. And I'm gonna show you. Maybe I have these out of order. Dig this out and redo the supports. So now we're on the church side. 42 is here. Just give you orientation. And you can see they're getting ready to pour these new columns. So even though, you know, they're going to build a wall here, you know, a concrete retention wall, they're going to fill this back up with dirt. But, you know, to hold the weight of the bridge, they need, you know, concrete footers going deep into the ground. And that's what these will be. And then, you know, the bridge will actually, even though this will all be filled in, the bridge's weight will mostly be bared by these piers. This is another view, just kind of looking back in. These are all temporary walls that, you know, while they get this together, and, you know, then they'll remove these and fill this in, put a wall in. And then this is looking out across over to, oh, you know what? I have another interesting question that I have for you guys. I should have teased this in the beginning too. We'll get to it in a second. And it's not the graffiti. People messaged me about the graffiti. What can we do about the graffiti? It's there. I'm not ready to. I love you guys. I can't fight everybody's battles. The graffiti bothers me, but I'm not going to take that up. People want me to call the Department of Transportation. This is the over. You know, I think what's interesting about this roadway. This is 295. This is what 295 will be. And I think when you're driving down here on 76 and 42, you don't really have the perspective of how big this is going to be, how many lanes will be across. So, you know, when you're coming from Cherry Hill and you want to go down to Atlantic City Expressway, when this is all done, you'll be driving up here. And when you're coming from 42, you're coming from Gloucester Township, Deptford, and you want to get to Cherry Hill, you're going to be over here. Here's the cemetery. And then this is just an updated photo. I think I have Mike's photo next, maybe coming up. But this is what they did is after the collapse happened, the roadway collapse, they to make sure it was safe and it didn't have any additional collapses, they removed a much bigger chunk of the area and leveled things out. I'm pretty sure I have a depiction. Oh, well, okay, this is what I'm trying to. So this is Mike's photo a day or two after the roadway collapse happened. You could see the berm. You know, I used the word berm in my video when I talked about it, and then I was happy to see that the commissioner, when she did her town forum, used the same thing. There's sort of a dirt berm that comes up to it, and so the roadway sank down. The wall sank down, and, you know, so the berm was here. What it did is it pushed it up like this, and then this is, you know, the collapse. So I'm not really going to get too deep into the theories, but, you know, my aspect of this was, yeah, sure, water was a big factor, but, you know, putting an angled dirt path there with the wall on top of it, there wasn't enough resistance coming across that it enabled things to slide out. Like, I wonder if they were able to make that dirt flat across, there would have been no way for it to slide. So they have to rethink things, and again, that's my I think I'm mostly right though with my theory, and I've heard some commentary that there was, you know, some. So let's just go back. This is then, you know, it only goes halfway across the lane when it really happens. It's the center of the southbound lane, and it pushed the wall out. Now they took it all the way to, you know, the whole lane. Again, this is just to so that they didn't have any further collapses, and, you know, this is the bulging berm. It's now that's gone too, so they level that out. So this is just they did that to stabilize it until they get to the final plan. That was done within days. They had people on there, you know. All right. So I joke a little bit when I do these, trying to make it fun. Time to get very serious. This is a question that comes up every single time I put up a post about the roadway, and I think it's time we've got to the bottom of it. It's the tunnel and the lights. I don't know why some people are so obsessed by these lights, the traffic lights, that, you know, they feel, you know, it's $1 billion project basically, and they feel like, you know, the state is wasting the tax dollars. But I want to show you something. Well, the main reason for the lights are, in a tunnel, if there was an accident up ahead, or even just a disabled vehicle, so, you know, there's no shoulder. You get a flat tire and you're halfway through the tunnel. The idea is they would turn that lane red, and then you as a driver coming around would see the red, just like when you're on. I should have grabbed a photo of the Wall Women Ben Franklin Bridge. You see that thing turn red, you're like, wait, I'm in the lane. The light above me says red, but they're probably telling me something's going on up ahead. Let me get out of this lane. That's all they're for. And it's presented. The comments in Facebook are like, it's the most ridiculous thing. But let me just show you some things here. Oh, there, that's the lights. Look at this. Route 29, historic trend. This thing, I have my wife's family is up in like Lambertville, Frenchtown area, and we travel this route. Look at that. There's a tunnel. traffic lights. Now, in this case, you can see how it bends here a little bit. It's probably more susceptible to having a disabled car down the way and you not knowing it. The Bellmawr tunnel is a little shorter, and you probably see. Although when you're coming from 42 North, you got that. You kind of go up. You don't really see much, but I would imagine there's some regulations in the Department of Transportation's guidelines that say if you have tunnel, you must have traffic lights. So that's the trend. This is probably 20 years old. This is Atlantic City. This is when you get off the Atlantic City Expressway, and you want to go to the Borgata or Harris, in the Marina area. See the two arrows? Green? Technically, they're traffic lights. Green means go. They're telling you this lane is good. If that went red, I think they put an X on it, it means bad. Guys, it's the same darn thing. Look at that. Last one. Lincoln Tunnel. New Jersey to New York. This thing is like 100 years old. They had no room up here to, it's too high to put, but look. Traffic lights. Why did that? No, this is probably the most common sense one. Like these tunnels are long and they bend underneath. You just would not know that if a tractor trailer was disabled in there. So they turn it red. That's all it is, guys. And I've been wanting to do this as a special separate video. I think I did something already. But the next time someone comments this, which they'll probably do in this video, I'm just going to link them to this. Go to minute 152 and watch this. So anyway, am I done here? I'm done. So 42freeway.com. Guys, thank you so much for supporting the site, reading, sharing, all the comments and likes on Facebook. It feeds the algorithm. And I'm going to do a video, maybe even this weekend, just talking about some of the inner secrets of the website and Facebook and how you guys can help me. And why I just can't do some post. Maybe I'll be a little bit of a tough guy. So thank you for supporting. Oh man, I like doing, I'll do like 15 starting clips to get the flow going. And then once I get going, I just run through this whole darn thing. So I don't have no idea how long I've been talking, but thanks guys. 42freeway.com. A lot more videos to come. Video podcast.